welcome indeed to the greenhouse portion of EDEN ISS. It is quite beautiful. And I've been here for a few months and I can say that this is my favorite part of my day, and I find that my energy gets lifted up in here. But we can't rely just on anecdotes for quantifying the psychological benefits of working in a space like this and having fresh produce. So in addition to crew time, we're also doing psychological surveys similar to the ones that we conduct with the astronauts on the International Space Station to get more data on just how important it is to have fresh produce in these isolated, confined, and extreme environments. We also do a lot of crop selection testing between NASA and DLR. So really looking for crops that not only do well in these kinds of environments, the size constraints, the different temperature requirements, but they're also highly nutritious crops, particularly for key nutrients that we know astronauts could be lacking in for those longer duration spaceflight missions. And as Daniel mentioned, we do other testing for microbial and food safety analyses because we want to make sure that anybody who's eating this produce or interacting with the systems is going to be safe in doing so. And combined with working with these particular systems, selecting for better crops and also for better cultivation methods, this has applications not only for our space flight, but also what we are doing on the ground in controlled environment ag, such as urban agriculture, vertical farms, or greenhouses, which is a way that these are increasing for agriculture production across the world. We are also doing a lot of testing to find out how much it takes to keep a system like this running. So we work with data analysis, how much water, how much power, how much air circulation is needed to power a system like this. And so inside, we will go through a little bit of a tour later, but again, I want to welcome you to the beautiful EDEN ISS. And with that, turn it back over to Falk. So the cucumbers, they start growing on the ground, and then they work their way up these vines all the way up towards the ceiling, and they will continue to grow. So then once they get a little bit too tall, then we can drop them down a little bit, give them some more space to keep growing. And then once the cucumbers on the bottom are ready to be harvested, we just keep working our way up. And the same is true for some of these tomatoes that we have back here. So these are a little bit slower to grow since they're a little bushier than the cucumbers, but again, they will continue to reach the ceiling. And it's wonderful to have this wall of green here. So these are some of our dwarf orange tomatoes, the cherry tomatoes that have already been flowering, and you can hopefully see we have some fruit setting on these. Nothing has ripened up yet, but we are very excited because there are hundreds and hundreds of tomatoes already forming, and we're just getting started here. We actually harvested the kohlrabi earlier this week, but we do have some other crops that are similar to kohlrabi. So we have broccoli and cauliflower, and this is the first time that we have grown broccoli and cauliflower inside the greenhouse. And it's very exciting because we did not expect that the cauliflower would start to put out some cauliflower heads. We thought these would just be leaves, and so that was a really fun surprise a few days ago. So it's an exciting place. So for me to get here, it was pretty unconventional, but I just kept thinking, what dreams could I end up following, and went from there. It's really important to diversify your skills. So for example, I took German in high school and through college and thought I just wanted to take another language and learn it. Never did I think that having learned that language would bring me here for this particular research. So as you're thinking about what to do with your undergraduate courses and your engineering courses, if this is something that you feel extremely passionate about, run with it. Absolutely run with it. But also think about some different areas and some different skills that you can do either in your classes or outside your classes that can help to diversify your skill set. And also remember that when you are applying for things like internships or jobs, these other experiences, whether in your classes or otherwise, they can be important for making yourself sellable. So always just, remember who you are and what you individually bring to the table.